Thanks for listening to the Tech Tools for Teachers podcast, where each week we talk about a free piece or two of technology that you can use in your classroom. I'm your host, Shannon Martin. I'm a middle school teacher, technology coach, and personalized learning coordinator for my district.
And I'm Fuzz Martin. I'm her husband.
And the guy across from me at the counter.
I'm sitting at the breakfast counter with her, and I push all the buttons. Hello.
Sort of. The one button.
The one button?
No,
what do you mean?
There's several buttons.
What do you mean?
All the buttons. Anyway.
I do all the button pushing for this
button
show.
Pushing.
You type up the stuff. I push all the buttons. I write the blog post.
You don't write the blog post?
Or no.
I write the blog post.
I proofread the blog post. I put the blog post into the system.
Yeah. Ta-da! Magic
I
happens.
press publish. And
yes. Announce what episode it is.
Yeah, it's 54. Episode 54. Where are you? Old school reference. Nobody gets that anymore.
I don't get that reference.
Car 54. Where are you?
Nope.
Your parents only had PBS with you growing up. You had only broadcast TV. You should know what Car 54.
No
Where
idea.
are you is.
Anyway, no idea.
It was not a sitcom. It was like a show.
Okay.
From
we watched nature.
The
and
70s, 60s.
I was born in the 80s.
I know, but we go to your parents' house and they are watching like Blue Bloods and.
It's no longer on anymore. Anyway, so it is episode 54, and we're all still here in quarantine, and so I decided that it would be helpful.
1961, 2 seasons.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
I decided that it would be helpful to share some Chrome extensions this time. I mean, we always do websites and kind of like how you can use them in your classroom and those types of things. But this time we have kids that are struggling with online learning all of the time, like all day long. Like we're trying to figure out ways to meet all kinds of student needs, and now we're having to do it from afar. So I thought that this week we'll do part 1. We won't be around next week, but then the following week we will do part 2 of Chrome extensions to help support students during this time where we are doing so much online learning. So that's what we're doing. We got Chrome extensions to help make your life easier and to help make students' lives easier during this time. First up, Google Chrome extension number 1 is, like a drum roll. Yeah, that's great. It is Google Read and Write. If you have not used Google Read and Write before, this tool is amazing. If you've used it before in your classroom, there are a lot of features that are very helpful while students are doing online learning and you are unable to support them all of the time. A lot of our students who struggle with understanding text when they're reading, even kids that don't usually struggle, but they don't have supports that are always like a teacher just ask questions and stuff. This is a great way for them to practice their reading, to annotate their reading, to listen to themselves read. There's just so many features. So the Chrome extension, so all of these extensions, you go to the Chrome,
the extension store thing.
Yeah, and you just put them on your computer and you'll get them in a little task bar across the top. Google Read and Write, it's purple. It looks like a little purple puzzle piece.
You go to Windows and then to extensions, and that's where you go to.
Yeah, and we'll put the links to all of them in the blog too.
But I mean, just to access extensions in general, you just go up in the top menu bar, you click Window, and then you click on Extensions. At least here on my Mac. I don't know if that's the same on a Chromebook or not.
Or just type in Chrome extensions, or type in the Chrome extension.
If you type actually in Chrome, if you type in Chrome://extensions, you're there.
Yeah, there you go. So the features that come in Google Read and Write are amazing. So I'm just going to list a few of them. They have a screenshot reader, a web search, a screen mask for those of you where you can block out certain sections, talk and type, so you can literally speak and it will text to type, text to type. Talking to typing, and it'll type it out for you. There's a translator in there, and I've used this translator. Voice to text, I've used this translator for different applications, and it works great. There's specific highlighters, so you can have students like, I need you to highlight this in yellow and this in green, this in blue. There's specific highlighters. Vocabulary focus, where you can click on a word and it will give you like definitions, or you can click on like other similar words. They have voice notes. They have simplify the page, so it'll simplify the text and articles and things like that. There's just so many options, and what it does is it puts this little, you open up the extension and it gives you all these little things at your fingertips. What's kind of cool is there's even sections, like there's a prediction section, and it really is, there's just so many options and ways of supporting students. It would be best to probably play around with the different features to figure out what would work best for your kids. But we've used it with basically anybody in class. If we're reading an article, our students, a lot of them, we have them put this Chrome extension on their Chromebooks. And that way, if they're reading an article, or if they're annotating something, or if they're reading a block of text, they're able to use all of these tools to help them focus and pull out the content that they need to. And it's super user-friendly, and just a lot of options. One of the other parts that I really like is there's this fluency text to help. And you click on, it's like the last in the toolbar. And it says like ready to practice reading. Click the record button and get started. Click stop when you're finished. Use the play button and listen how you did it. So kids start literally practicing reading. Then you can re-record as much as you want, and then click send button and you can send it to your teacher. So teachers can actually check in on kids' reading fluency by using this extension, which is really cool. So it's great for lots of grade levels. You could do this if you've got parent support at home a little bit. I would say like first grade on up, this extension would be a great tool to be using. And even just the recording feature, students can read and then hear themselves read, and they usually get really excited about like the progress they make over time, which is really awesome. So Google Read and Write, it is a fantastic extension and very supportive. And you can build your own dictionary. There's just so many different features to it. You look like you're going to say something.
Well, I told you to go to Chrome / extensions before. I didn't realize how many extensions I have on my computer, so I thought this was the site. But actually, when you're in there, if you click the hamburger menu and then click Open Chrome Web Store, that takes you to where you download them. But I have a ton of extensions on here.
Yeah, I think you don't even notice how many extensions you use on a regular basis, or that are just already built in.
Right.
But this is one, like I said, all of our kids, we have them put it on their Chromebooks, and some are like, well, I don't need a tool like that. We're like, no, wait, there's so many options in this tool that it's very useful.
Can I ask a question?
Sure.
At the risk of you not knowing the answer to it live on this podcast,
we can try.
Kids with Chromebooks, can they go to the App Store and
you can put extensions on a Chromebook?
You can put whatever extension.
It depends on, like at our school, we can the kids we can give them a suggestion for an extension, and their Chromebooks will do it. Depending on the security and what the restrictions are on the school's Chromebooks.
Okay.
That would depend on the school district's policy.
Okay. I figured as much. I just was kind of assuming.
Yeah, so like our iPads, the kids cannot put stuff on their iPads, but extensions for Chrome, there's like certain ones that are opened up that they're able to.
Sure.
So it's not like anything.
Okay.
You just have to be aware of it. Yeah, but it depends on the district policy. But
okay, cool.
Yeah, so but this is one I would definitely recommend to lots of people and adults too, like not just kids, but it's really useful when you're trying to support students when you can't be there.
Yeah.
The next one also is a supportive one extension called Talk and Comment Voice Notes Anywhere. And I've been playing around with this one because I wasn't sure about the features of this one. And really, it's really supportive. It's not like, so Google Read and Write has lots of, like, where you can voice. And by the way, the dog, I don't know if you can hear her today.
The dog is snoring.
She is snoring like nobody's business.
Actually, so before we started this podcast, I'm going to give you some real life insight into our lives right now. The nights that we podcast, Shanna tucks our youngest into bed while I set up the microphones here at the kitchen counter. While that was going on, the dog, and again, the name of our company is Snoring Dog Media for a reason.
Because she snores and everything.
She was snoring so loudly, and she must have been chasing something through a field full of marigolds because she was yelping. Yep, 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 yep. While she's snoring. It's adorable. And now she's just snoring, sawing logs.
Yes. But. So it's not us, it's the dog.
Yes.
All right, back to our Chrome extensions. We're doing a really good job.
I digress. I apologize. I mean, they're extensions. They're cool. They're like
fun little things.
They're fun. I'm giving little extensions to our life.
Yay.
As we talk.
Oh, nice. So, okay, where was I? So,
Talk and Comment
is a tool that it's very straightforward. So basically, you put Talk and Comment on your computer. It's literally Talk and Comment, voice notes anywhere. And you get this little microphone. And I was like hunting for it before. I didn't find it right away. But it's there. It's a faded little circle that'll be on the right-hand side of your screen. If you go into like a dock or something like that, when you have it on. I have it turned off right now. So when you have it on, it shows up. It's like a little blue circle. You want to look at it now. You can see it. It's like a little circle.
Oh,
it looks like a little microphone.
It's like a third of the way down on the page.
Yeah,
of
and
your
it just shows up.
On the right.
It'll just be there because I was like, where is this thing? And what you do is, and you can turn it on and off, so it does not have to be there. I turned it off so I don't overlap when I'm using Google Read and Write.
Yeah, yeah.
And you push the little button.
The microphone?
Push the little microphone. And talk, whatever you want to record. You click the green check button. And then when you're done talking, you click the green check button again. And I was like, okay, that's great. Where does it go?
Yeah.
So it comes up, it says, here's this link. And it kicks you a little link, and you just click OK, and it's copied. And then it says you can paste it anywhere. And I was like, okay, well, this is weird. So if you paste the link like into a Google, like if you paste it in Google to search it, it doesn't work. But if you put it in a Facebook page, a Twitter account, an email, it then
is it a URL?
It's a URL.
Okay, so but if you put in the URL bar and hit enter,
it doesn't
work.
Well, what it does is wherever you paste it, then it plays the recording.
Oh, gotcha. Okay.
So like, if you're explaining something and don't want to type a 4-page email, you just want to explain it to somebody verbally.
You could send it in a text.
You can send it in a text. It would be like a voice text. You know, you like record on your phone, but this records on your computer, but you can paste it anywhere. So you can put it into an email. You can put it into a Twitter spot, into
So
Facebook,
if you wanted to, let's say your student said, hey, I'm not understanding this math problem. Could you help me? Could
you explain it to me? And you don't have time, or you can't video chat at that time, and they can't get it. You can literally explain the whole thing to them.
Comment, click the link.
And it gives you the URL, you drop it in an email, and the kid has the whole explanation, and it's recorded like with your voice, and you're able to explain stuff to kids.
That's cool.
Or for those kids who struggle typing or getting their ideas across, and you just need to know if they're understanding what's going on, they can just click on it, record what they want to say, send it to you, and they don't have to do all the typing. And it doesn't type it. Like, it is literally just a voice recording.
But
they can share their information.
Here's an idea. You're a language arts or a language teacher. Foreign language teacher.
Absolutely.
Just
and you gotta hear things verbally, and again,
and you're all working at home right now.
I know a lot of people are using like Flipgrid and video things, but if you just need voice stuff, and I have students that do not want to be on video, so they're always turning their screens, which is fine. I totally respect that, but this is such a great way for them to share what they need to share. Just record it, send it off. And for those kids who can't always be in those group chats and stuff because maybe they have siblings on the computer or there's other reasons, this is a great way to hear each other's voices and hear from them or hear their explanations and not have to do a video thing, which I think is super cool.
Yeah, that's cool.
So it's easier when you jump into it. It's literally turn it on, hit record, test it out, and then email it to yourself. And it's that simple. And then you can just voice record whatever you want to voice record and send it to people.
Yeah, that's really cool.
So Talk and Comment, so many uses. Like you said, foreign language, kids just communicating with you or with each other. It's just a neat way to kind of put things out there and share in another way. Again, when we're all at home and we need new ways to communicate. So Test it out. Try out Talk and Comment. It's fantastic. The other one I'm just throwing out there, Bitly. You can use the website. Oh, yeah. If you didn't know, Bitly has a Chrome extension. So you just click on it, shortener, do it that way.
Then you don't have to go to the
website,
link,
and it just like shortens it up for you. So if you didn't know it, I wanted to share Bitly. It's like a
Bitly
shortener.
For Bitly.
Yeah, basically. So Bitly does have a shortener. If you have never used it, there is an extension for that. Like there's an app for that, but there's an extension for that.
There is.
The last one
is it an extension if it makes it shorter?
Ha ha ha. Ha ha ha.
The dad jokes during the whole coronavirus quarantine have been off the charts.
They are pretty amazing.
There was one today that I said, oh yeah, I can't say because it has our child's name in it. The
Hey child. Yes.
Yes, the Taco Bell one.
Yes.
We all laughed.
We did. It was good.
People laughed heartily in this household, which is needed at this time.
Yes. I mean, we all appreciate dad joke. And I feel like even the smallest one is coming up with her own dad jokes.
Oh, she is.
And
she is loving
4.5.
She's really into otters right now.
She's obsessed.
And she is loving otter dad jokes. And that makes me smile from ear to ear.
Yes. And she also has
even
been
though I
having
don't think I otter.
Ha 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 ha. Oh my goodness. Okay. And so our last extension today is called, well, it goes with Google. It's okay. So if you, I don't know, explain it. Let me take 10 steps back or 2. So we've got Google Hangouts. We have Google Meet. We have all the googly things. Right now, everyone's trying to do voice chats.
Mm-hmm.
And some are going well, some are not going well. Depends on what's going on. If you've not tried Google Meet before, not Google Hangouts, and that's something you have to keep track of because they get mixed up.
Google is notorious for screwing up things they could slam dunk. I'll give you an example. Google Plus. They're like, hey, we got this cool thing called Google Plus. It connects to all your Google Plus accounts. However, we're not going to launch to everybody at first. We're going to wait 6 months and only give a few people access at first until the buzz dies down, and then nobody's going to want it.
And then it went away.
Yes.
So
the same thing happens with...
I don't know, because I use Hangouts. We use Hangouts all the time in school.
Well, so they had Google Chat. Or
which
Google
became Google Hangouts.
They had Google Hangouts. They had a Google Buzz at first, and then Google Hangouts, and then Google Hangouts Chat, and then Google Chat and Google Meet.
Okay, so we are sticking with in our school right now.
Yes.
The kids and sometimes it's a one-on-one conversation. We use Google Hangouts.
Correct.
Okay, if there is more than one of us in, so our staff meetings.
Yes.
That we're doing now virtually are in Google Meet. Okay, it's in your waffle. It's not Hangouts. It is Google Meet.
Yes.
So if you don't know this, that's where it is.
Is it meet.google.com? If you see it in your,
yes.
I think that's where the oldest got to it tonight.
Yeah, it's meet.google.
If it's not in your waffle, go to meet.google.com.
And once you're in once, it'll show up in your waffle.
Yes, correct.
Okay, so Google Meet is where we're at.
Yes.
It is great for having a large group or more than 2 people basically chat. So if you're if you can't use Zoom because Zoom is not going well for some districts, Google Meet would be my next choice. The problem that people see with Google Meet is that you only can see 4 or 5 max people in a screen.
Mm-hmm.
So the last extension we're going to talk about is called Google Meet Grid View.
Okay.
You put the extension Google Meet Grid View on your computer, and then all of a sudden everyone's face shows up like the Brady Bunch, and you can see all of the faces. So our biggest struggle was we had 30 people in a meeting, and we only could see 4 in Google Meet. When you put this Chrome extension on, you are then able to see a grid view and see everybody's faces.
Yep. Cool.
Today, something else that if you didn't know about Google Meet that you and I were talking about today, it doesn't require the grid view to do this, but Google Meet is closed caption. So again, if you have students that are struggling or if they have different needs, and you're trying to find different ways to support them, Google Meet closed captions your video chats. Now, if you record the video chats, it does not record the closed captioning. But if you have students that need closed captioning, Google Meet closed captions your video chats.
Yeah, that's great.
So something else to know.
But it's cool that it makes it accessible for those who...
Yeah, it's super important because we have kids that we need them to be able to see things. So anyway, I got off on a tangent, but I think that Google Meet grid view is really important when you want to see everybody's faces, especially if you're meeting with larger groups. Put the extension in your computer because then you don't have to worry about only seeing 4 people when you guys are chatting. And it's really cool. And you can Brady Bunch. And we've started doing that in our meetings. We all started just like looking around and sideways at one another so you could pretend like we're in the Brady show. Because, I don't know, and wearing funny hats and glasses and things like that. And then you could play bingo. I was listening to a webinar this week, and they have the coolest, it was our CISA group.
Okay.
CISA 6. They have created bingo cards for video chats.
Oh.
So you can like cross off like this person's clearly not paying attention. This person's dog is in the picture. This person's wearing glasses, and they made bingo cards.
I'm going to make a t-shirt before this is all said and done. Maybe I'll do it this weekend. I'm going to create a t-shirt that says, "We need you all to mute your microphones."
Oh yeah. That's really
Yep.
Yeah. Please mute your microphone.
I think as we've been doing this, so there was the culture of some people worked at work and some people worked from home, and every so often, and they were kind of, I wouldn't say looked down upon, but just like expected to perform at the same level as people at the office,
or in the same way, same timing,
in the same way. Exactly. Now that we're in this, like in the coronavirus day and age, everybody's spouse, if they have a spouse or partner, and children, if they have children, are at home, and pets, of course, if they have pets. And so we just kind of expect to see them in the situation, like in
like everyone's just a part of everyone's meetings.
It's no longer taboo to have
your kids show up
meeting. The amount of times that our almost 5-year-old has nuzzled herself into my armpit during a conversation about $100,000+ budgets for a certain online campaign. While I'm talking about, like, we need to do X, Y, and Z, is at this point I can't count. It just happens, and it's cool and it's fun
and everyone easy. It makes it lightens it up a little bit, I think.
Yeah, exactly. Like everybody's dog's in the picture and everybody loves it.
Well, even when I talk to my students, like, she'll come in and she wants to visit my students or say hi to other teachers and things like that, and they're all excited to see her.
Yeah.
Like, everyone just kind of becomes a part of everybody else's lives, which is pretty cool.
Though I will say, you should, if you haven't already with your students, you should pick up our dog and my kids haven't met our dog yet because she's usually sleeping. And she's always sleeping. You just wake her up and
be like, "Hey!"
hold her by the chin.
But like our daughter's teacher has brought her dog in and had her dog like teach the lessons for 4K, which is pretty cute.
Yeah, I guess we haven't talked about this either, and it's your show, but let's inject a little life. Our youngest, so her 4K teacher is wonderful. She's an amazing human being. And our daughter misses her so much that she doesn't like
to watch the videos
the recorded video because her teacher can't respond to the teacher and the teacher can't respond to her.
Yeah.
And it's almost a little bit heartbreaking.
Yeah. I mean, she's cute. We do the calendar and we do the pledge and we do all the things and she does it, but we have to step away, which her teacher encourages too, like little bits at a time, because if she misses her, like we all miss our kids, like we want to see there and be there with them, and here we are.
Yeah, that's all you can do.
Right.
Didn't mean to bring us down, but it's part of what we're doing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but we continue to support each other and do what we can.
Absolutely.
So our extensions, those are the first 4 of our Google extensions. We're going to take a week off, and then the following week after that, we will do part 2, and I'll have 4 or 5 more extensions that we'll be talking about. So hopefully that can continue to support everyone with their online learning. And I encourage questions. Like if anybody wants ideas or things like that thrown at them, please just give me a shout. Let me know on Twitter, Facebook. If you have ideas or questions, or if you have a favorite extension that you think is the most amazing thing, please share it, because I feel like the more we can share these tools with each other and make our lives a little easier with teaching, it just makes it a little bit easier for everybody. So thanks for tuning in. This has been the Tech Tools for Teachers podcast. If you ever have any questions, you can find me on Twitter at SmartInWI. And if you want to get more information on the links to the technology discussed in this episode or any other, visit smartinwi.com. New episodes each week. Thanks for listening. Go educate and innovate.
The ideas and opinions expressed on this podcast and the Smart and WI website are those of the author, Shanna Martin, and not of her employer. Prior to using any of the technologies discussed on this podcast, please consult with your employer regulations. This podcast offers no guarantee that these tools will work for you as described, but we hope they do. Thanks for listening.